Welcome to the Behind the Vision podcast. In this episode with Josiah, we explore his journey to becoming a musician, what it's like being in a band, and building a coffee pottery shop in Minneapolis. Hope you enjoy the show. What was the first instrument you picked up?
So
You can pull the mic up closer too if you want. Yeah.
So growing up, I wanted to play drums immediately. Like that was like my first instrument I wanted to play. But at my school, they were like, "Well, you can't play drums until you learn piano, because it's like music theory and like learning time signatures and stuff like that." And so I learned piano first. I took piano lessons for like 2 years, I think, and then after that, I was like, "I'm just gonna play drums now." So drums is like my favorite instrument to play probably. But then I moved from drums to like playing piano more, and then playing guitar, like acoustic and electric, and then kind of fiddle with bass a little bit here and there, and then I sing and write music and stuff like that too. So
Dang, that's cool.
yeah, it is fun.
Is it easy to translate from like piano to drums to guitar?
Kind of. Like the world of music is very like, it's super broad, but it's also like it's very similar. So like time signature is like 4/4, which is like mostly any like pop rock song, or like 6/8 is kind of like a waltz feel to it, kind of. Like all the time signatures can definitely translate to different instruments, but like if you play piano, you don't necessarily like play guitar. So like you have to like learn the different, like how to play the actual instrument, because they're very different. But yeah, it's fun. It's a really good time, dude. Yeah.
Dang. At what age did you start playing? I guess it was a piano probably, right?
Yeah, man. How old was I? I want to probably say like 11,
Okay.
10 or 11.
And it was something you did a part of like school?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, because like I wanted to play drums, but they wouldn't let me. So I took piano. And I didn't like play piano at school because like there wasn't like a piano in like the school band or whatever. And so I just didn't play at school. And then after that, I was like, okay, now I'm playing in school. So I think it was like, gosh, I don't even know, like 6th grade, I started playing drums in school, which is like the bass drum, you know, or like just the snare.
Oh yeah.
But I wanted
not
to,
like full drum set.
yeah, but like that's what I wanted to do though. I wanted to play the full kit, you know, but they didn't have it, and so my parents, I think it was like when I was 14, my parents like paid for me to like have drum lessons, and I had like 2 of them, and I was like, cool, thanks, I'm good to go. And then I've just been like playing ever since, man. Yeah, and then like guitar, like my brother played guitar, and so I like would like look at what he's doing, you know, and then like try to like copy him a little bit, you know, and that's how I learned how to play guitar. And then from guitar, that like translates really easy with other guitar instruments. So like electric and acoustic are super comparable. And then bass is just like the first top 4 strings of a guitar. So it's like if you know how to play guitar, you can figure out how to play bass a lot easier. If that makes sense. So
Yeah. Have you seen the movie Whiplash?
Oh, dude, yeah. It's like so hard to watch sometimes, like as a drummer. Like insane movie, insane musicians. But I'm like, yo, if he was my teacher, I would be like, I'm done. All right, I'm cool. I'm just never gonna play drums ever again. You know?
That's such a crazy teaching style. Yeah. That was a wild movie. It's really good though. I love it.
I was just like, I mean, it was an intense movie too. Like he like throws a chair at him or whatever when he like doesn't get it right, and like knowing like tempos and time signatures like off the top of your head is insane. Like someone's like, hey, like play 80 BPMs. It's like I have no idea how to do that, but like in that movie, like he had to, and I'm just like, that's crazy, dude.
Yeah, because like his teacher kept getting mad because he wasn't playing in tempo.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the thing, the BPMs. You know, he's like, on my tempo, and I'm like, dude, give me a click, give me a metronome, and I can play it. But
do you think it was actually like he was not playing in tempo, or do you think it was just him trying to get him better?
You know, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I think like at first maybe he saw like the potential that he had, And it was like, oh, God, how do I like, you know, encourage you to be better, you know, or like reach the greatness that you have potentially. But then I think like throughout the movie, it was just kind of like mean, you know, it was just kind of like, oh, bummer. It's kind of intense, you know.
Have you ever had a teacher like that?
No, thankfully not. I probably would have quit music if I did. No, actually, but yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Pretty wild. Yeah, dude.
Something that I do, and I want to hear your thoughts on it, if it's like a good learning style, is we had a piano at the old apartment.
Oh, sweet.
And I was playing it, but the way I like to learn was I would just go to like YouTube, type in the song that I wanted to like know how to play.
Dude, yeah.
And I would just learn that way. But
Dude.
I didn't maybe learn like the core, notes or like how to play the piano and understand it super well. I just went straight to the song.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, YouTube University, man. Like, so many musicians have learned how to play their instrument from YouTube, you know? And yeah, it's a great way. I mean, like, and there's like a million different ways to like learn how to play an instrument. You know, you could like learn by ear, which is like what you were basically doing, where it's like you listen and you like find the note and like, okay, cool, there it is, you know, or you find the chord or like find the, whatever string that's on or whatever. And then there's like the technical learning where it's like you learn music theory, you learn like why this chord makes sense with this chord, all that stuff. So it's like, I would say it's like learning by ear is like more creative because like you have to like figure it out yourself. But then like learning, like going to school for it is like the technical correct way, you know? And I learned everything by ear, most like besides the piano lessons when I was younger. And so I prefer that, but also it's really nice to get like pointers and like, oh, that's okay, that makes sense, or whatever. So
Can you like listen to a song and then just pick it up and start playing it?
yeah, yeah, kind of. It depends, if it's like a mainstream song, like whatever you hear on the radio or whatever, it's normally just like the same 4 chords and you just gotta find what key you're in and then you can just be like, oh, cool, I can play it. Like that's like I used to play shows a lot and I'd be like, okay, what song should I cover? And I just like okay, cool, like Fix You by Coldplay, and it's just like, oh, cool, it's just like these 4 chords. And now I can just like, I just listen to the song. And there's like a whole other thing where it's like natural numbering system, which is like every chord has a number and it's like 1 through 7. And like it's so much, it's very technical, but once you like know that, you can pretty much figure out what the chords are in a song just by hearing it. Because it's like, oh, is that the minor chord? Does it sound like kind of like moody? That's the 6. It's like, oh, like the 1 chord is like we've resolved. It's like, oh, okay, like this is like, like the resolution of the progression. You know what I mean? Like there's like such a technical side of it, but it's fun, dude. Once you dive into it, it's like never ending though.
I'm sure it's just like so many different possibilities of ways to like create music,
dude. Totally.
And there's so many instruments.
Yeah, dude, so
you
many.
can pick up.
Yeah, it's fun, dude. And I learned a lot. Like most of my music journey has been like playing in the church, like playing at youth group or like on Sundays or whatever. And so it's like you have that like camaraderie where it's like other musicians are playing with you constantly. And so it's like, hey, like try this different, or like, hey, do this, or like this is how I do it, that sort of thing. So like you learn quickly in that sort of environment, or if you just like play with other people constantly,
Yeah,
but
no, that's
it's
super
fun.
true. Actually, Paige Cully dropped a question.
Oh, sweet.
Kind of on that same topic.
What's up, Paige?
Of just the church. And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she said anything about his pace of life with Jesus and how that looks pursuing music.
Wow. It's a good question, Paige. Dang. Man, so I've been like in the church my whole life pretty much. Like I grew up Christian, and then like had my own journey with the Lord in that, and like pursuing Jesus and like relationship and like understanding what that looks like, and so that's been a very consistent thing in my life, and being like playing in the church has been a very consistent thing. Like honestly, I don't think there's been like a year span of my life where I haven't like played like on worship at the church or at a church, which is kind of wild to think about, actually. I never really thought about that until now. But
when did you start?
basically like when I was 14.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Like it was like, okay, I learned this beat on drums. I'm playing in youth group now,
Dang.
like every Wednesday or whatever. And then it was like, oh, I'm like figuring out my voice and like singing. It's like, oh yeah, you can sing now. It's like, all right, cool. When I'm 16, I'm singing on the worship team, and then like learning how to play guitar, it's like, oh, now I'm leading worship, And so, yeah, I've been doing that ever since I was like pretty much 14. So I'm 30 now, 16 years, So, but like, it's crazy because, like, just to go back to the question, like my walk with the Lord and like how that like pertains to music, it's like I'm a firm believer that like like creativity is like it's it's a beautiful thing, and I believe that like Jesus like created creativity, right? And so because he created the whole world, he created emotions, he created everything, he's like the designer of it. And so like when it comes to creativity, I love to like invite him into that journey with me, where it's like, okay, like you designed this, I want you to be a part of it with me. And anything that I'm doing creatively, where it's like photos, pottery, music, woodworking, or whatever I'm doing, and so, but specifically with music, like in general, music carries such emotion anyways, it's like you can listen to a song by Coldplay or whoever, Taylor Swift or whatever, you can like feel like what they're singing. You can feel like most of the time you can kind of feel like where they're coming from. And so it's like when I like write my own music, like I want to be able to like do that same thing, but in like a real and like authentic way. Not to say that they don't, but like for me, I really strive for that. And so it's like, okay, like I want to invite Jesus into this process with me to write these songs, whether it's like about heartbreak or whether it's about like feeling better or whether it's about like hopes and dreams or whether it's about just like him and I's relationship, because it's like, man, like if anyone knows better, it's him, when it comes to creativity, when it comes to my own heart, when it comes to like my life and like what I've gone through and what I'm going through, what I'm going to go through, like he totally knows everything about it. And so it's like, who better to like invite into that process than the Lord, So.
Yeah. It's awesome, dude.
Yeah, dude. I love it. It's just like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I was listening to a podcast with the singer of Imagine Dragons.
Oh, sick.
And I mean, you kind of mentioned the authenticity point of like, you want to be from a place when you're creating music of just, speaking your truth.
Yeah.
And he even mentioned on that podcast, like if he puts out a song and he doesn't feel like it's super authentic, he feels like people feel that.
Totally.
And they know
dude.
that.
That's so real. Yeah. Yeah. Like every song that I've written has come from a real place, like I'm not just writing a song to write a song, and it's like I have like a 5-song EP on Spotify right now, and I just recorded it on my phone. I was just like, all right, cool. Just put it in the world, It's fun. I like it. But like every song on that EP has been like bits and pieces of like my journey for the past like 5 years, like when I wrote that, like the 5-year mark. And it's like every word is true. Like every word came from like an experience or like came from like a realness, and I feel like that is seen and felt. Like I've had people tell me, they're like, whoa, like I don't know you, but like I listened to that song and I feel like I know you now, or it's like I feel like I know what you went through in that moment or that season. And yeah, and so I think it's super important for like, musicians and songwriters, but also people who are creative in general to like really to be authentic in what they're doing, and like I feel a little bit of a tangent here, but like
You're good.
I feel like if you're doing something creative and like you're not being real in it, it's obvious, because it's like when like creatives, like we're feelers, it's like we're emotional or whatever, like we like personalities come out in like what we're creating, especially when we're creating for ourselves, like I have lived a long life of being creative and doing different endeavors and different things of creativity or whatever. And there's been like specific times where I'm like, oh, whoa, like, I'm not in this. Like, what I'm making right now is not who I am, or like I don't feel myself in it at all, or whatever. Or it's just like for like a paycheck, or it's just for like, oh, this is what other people are doing, so I want to be like noticed or seen, so I'm gonna do the same thing, even though it's not at all who I am. And like, but then there's times where I'm like, whoa, I'm putting like my whole heart into this, and I'm like putting like everything that I am into this, and I love it, you know. And I think it's super important to love what you're doing and like love what you're creating, you know.
When was the last time you felt that?
Oh man, last time I felt that, I mean, like, I've been writing new songs recently, which has been really fun for me because I took a minute to not write because I was like pursuing other things. But yeah, there's like a new song that I'm writing that is called "Feeling Better," and it's just like, it's kind of like an ode to like the past. I don't know, like COVID was wild for everyone, you know. It's like there was like a spike in depression like during that time, you know, and like it hit me for a bit, you know. It's like coming out of that season like feeling better, you know. And it's like, oh whoa, it's like some of the lyrics, like I haven't finished it yet, otherwise I'd play it for you, but it's kind of got like a I've got soul but I'm not a soldier feel, where it's like dun 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 dun, you know. It's like kind of like fun and hypey, but it's like the chorus is like, I want to dance all night till I can't breathe. I want to like sing at the top of my lungs and forget everything, you know. And it's like, I want to act like stars in hotel bars, like cruising on top of the world, just like with you and me, babe. You know, so it's kind of like I'm feeling better, and like this is what I want to do because now I feel better. You know what I mean? Like I want to go out and do these things that like feel good to do. You know.
So you're in the process of writing that album right now?
Yeah, that song. Yeah.
Song.
Mm-hmm. So that was a little sneak peek.
Yeah, that'd be cool. So are you gonna just drop like an episode, just like a song itself, or are you gonna release like a full album?
Yeah, I'll probably do the single route where I release like one song at a time. You know, before I released like the 5-song EP that I released, gosh, it was like 2 years ago. It was during COVID, I think. I titled it "Long Time Coming" because that was the first time I've ever released music, like my own music, and I've always wanted to ever since I was like 14. You know, but I released it when I was like 28. You know, and so now that I've released that, I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I want to do one song at a time, like when they're ready and like when they're done immediately, and not just like sit on them for so long, you know? So I have like 5 songs I haven't released yet.
Ooh.
Yeah, that aren't fully finished yet, but I want to like record them like full band. Instead of just like voice memos right here on my sofa, you know, because that's like the EP that's on Spotify. It's just like voice memo,
Just a phone.
yeah, which is a vibe. Like it's like it feels like we're just right here, like when we're listening to it, which is really fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, since I like play most of the instruments that would be in the EP or in the single, I want to like record them all myself, and then like bring in some friends for different things. Like, I'm not like a guitar soloist by any means, so I'll bring my buddy Danny in to like solo over something, or my buddy Enrique, who's like an insane musician in general, but he'd probably play bass on it, you know, because he's just super slick and super good on it. So, but yeah, I'm stoked. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pumped to listen to it.
Dude,
I've
for
listened to
sure.
a few of your other songs too.
Oh, sweet, man.
Yeah.
Dude, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. I take it very casually. You know, it's like once a song's ready, cool, all right, just put it out there, you know. I don't like worry about like how many streams I get or like how many reposts or whatever I get on it. It's just kind of like, yeah, this is just something I love to do, and it's part of who I am. And so here's a little another snippet of my life. You know?
It's good that you just like don't pay attention to that stuff and you do it because you want to do it.
Yeah, dude.
Like I feel like if you get caught too much up in the numbers of things or looking at how well it did,
Yeah.
you just kind of lose the creativity of it and wanting to do it more because you're like,
100%.
oh, maybe this song didn't perform super well. Well, maybe I'm not gonna post them anymore,
Dude,
type of thing.
Absolutely. Like discouragement is such a huge thing. You know, and that's like I feel like oftentimes when I'm looking at like the comparison aspect where I'm like, oh, like this buddy released this song and it got like 2 million plays and it's on like 5 playlists on Spotify, and I released a whole EP and it's got like maybe 1,000 plays. You know, it's like if you're like in that comparison mindset, discouragement's like right around the corner. And it's just like, oh, crap. All right, well, I guess I'm not going to do that anymore. You know, because it's like it didn't work out. But if you're doing it for yourself, which when it comes to creativity, doing it for yourself is so important, then it's just like, oh, I feel good. Like I'm satisfied with how that sounds or how that came out or how that looked. And it's like, sweet. Like I'm satisfied, you know, it's good.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Have you ever created like music that you just are not a fan of?
Oh, for sure, man.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah, I have throughout like 16 and on, like I've written so many songs. I'm like, wow, I will never, ever, ever, ever show anyone that song. Or there's like songs where I wrote like way back in the day where I'm like, oh yeah, that's a bop. Like maybe I'll bring it back and like rewrite it a little bit, you know, or like give it a different feel or whatever. Like there's one song I wrote when I was I think it was 17, and I had this huge crush on this girl in high school, and like we were like really close friends. And I was always like, oh, I like you. She's like, oh, I love you, bro. You know, like friend zone, hardcore, you know. Yeah. But I wrote a song and it's like super cheesy, like so cheesy. It's like painfully cheesy. But I played it at the talent show at my high school, like when I was, like it was my senior year of high school. And I won the talent show.
Dang.
But it's funny because like I was a bold kid back then. Like I don't know, I would never do this now. But like before I played it, she was there at like the talent show. Mm-hmm. I was like, "This one's for you."
Oh, you pointed at it?
Yeah, dude. And like her name is in the song, so it's like,
dude.
like here's the kicker, dude. Her boyfriend was sitting right next to her. So like,
wow.
But I didn't care, man. I was in love. So it's like whatever, you know. And I won. And then the next day, I didn't know this happens when you win. I had to play at the Pet Fest the next day in front of the entire school. And so I'm like, oh, great. So now like the entire school is going to know that like, I have a crush on Mandy, you know, whatever. It turned out great. It was fun. We never dated, but whatever.
Dude, that takes a lot to do that.
Dude, yeah, her boyfriend was not happy though. He was like this football player and I was just like this emo kid, whatever. And like, his friends would like come up to me in the hall and like shove me in the locker and be like, "Ooh, don't talk to Amanda." And I'm like, ha ha ha, I don't care. Whatever. It's like I have bigger friends who are bigger than you, you know, whatever. I don't know, stupid stuff. But yeah, it was fun. It was a good time. So but I definitely do have songs that I'm like, no way, dude. Like I'm just gonna throw it in the trash. Maybe take some lyrics from that, but like we're done. you know? But yeah. But back in the MySpace days though, I definitely had some songs on MySpace that I put on that I think are still up. Like I should do a deep dive and see if I can find those songs just for fun.
Should post them on Spotify.
I should. Oh no. Oh my god.
Going way back album.
Just like hardcore auto-tune and like Never Shout Never vibes, you know, like jeez. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're part of a band now, right?
Yes. Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
How's that been?
It's been a journey, you know. It's been a process. Like being in a band as adults is different when you're in a band, like when you're in high school, you know, because it's like, oh, we have like full-time jobs, and some of us have families that we're raising, and it's like we have different things that we want to pursue individually, you know. So it's like getting 5 people together, like once a week to rehearse. Super tricky, you know, but like we're currently working on a single right now in the studio, which is exciting. We're hoping to release it sooner than later, but yeah, it's called Ghost, and yeah, it's a good song. I'm super stoked for it. Yeah.
And then so it's St. Harrison.
Yeah, St. Harrison. Yep.
Nice.
Yeah, we have no music out at all. We played a handful of shows, but it's like a homie band, so it's just like a bunch of best friends playing music together, you know.
How'd you all form?
So so I lived with 2 of our band members in a house in St. Paul, and like we've all been musicians our entire lives, and so like writing music together or just writing music in general is very normal for us. But like living together, it was like, hey, I'm writing this new song. It's like, oh, let me hear it. And then like I would jump on the drum kit and just like play along with it. And then like our Enrique would come in and play like bass on it. And it's just like, oh, sweet. We just like finished writing a song together. You know, and it's like, we love the way this sounds. Should we start a band? You know, it's like, that's sort of a thing. And Jake, our lead vocalist / songwriter, insane vocalist, insane songwriter. Like his lyrics like are so like just so good, dude. So deep. I'm stoked to like for people to hear it. Like super excited. But like a lot of inspiration came from him because like I mean him and I have been best friends for a long time. Actually, like we met from me giving him guitar lessons like when he was like, gosh, I don't know, when he was 16 and I was like 20. Let's see, yeah, I was like 21, I think. And I like would put flyers up in my town and whatever, like music lessons, whatever. And like his mom found it and they came over and whatever. But like the first music lesson we had, I was like, cool, like, you know, show me what you can do. Let's like assess or whatever. And like he like played me a song he wrote and I was like, you guys don't need me. Like, what the heck? Like this kid is so good already, you know, but like we kept hanging out and like, I would, you know, I'd give him like little pointers here and there or whatever. We only did maybe a handful of lessons, but then we just like kept hanging out because we were like, oh dude, like we're friends now. And since then we've been like best friends. And so like we've written music together. We've gone like big trips together. We've like done a lot of life together, you know? And so, he's actually having a baby soon, which is exciting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I think like, honestly, like maybe even next week. It's crazy.
That's soon.
Yeah. Super soon. But we're all so excited. It's like the first kiddo in our friend group. And so it's like all these like aunts and uncles are going to be like hanging out where it's like, oh, the baby, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, we're working on a single right now and hopefully releasing it sooner than later. You know, we're not like I said, like, we're not like taking it incredibly like this has to be the thing, you know. It's like, oh, we're just having fun with it and doing it when we can, you know.
Would you want to be a part of the band full time? Like, I mean, is that everyone's kind of goal with it? Is to like take it full time, or?
You know, I feel like as a musician, I'm obligated to say yes, because that's like the dream of every musician is to be able to do music full time. But like, honestly, I don't know. Like I have a few other endeavors that are like in the works right now that I'm pursuing that I would love to do those things full time. And so it's kind of tough though. It's like if a label picked us up and was like, cool, you're going to do like a 6-month tour around the US, I'd be like, oh, okay, maybe. You know, it's like, it just depends, but which would be a really hard decision to make because I would have to like let go of every other thing that I was wanting to do. But yeah, I mean, like Jake wants to, I think a couple of our bandmates want to for sure. But yeah, it's just like, it just depends on the season that we're in and depends on like what opportunities might come up, you know, but
yeah, just like feel it out.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's cool.
And it's like, I mean, it's a huge commitment doing music full time, you know, like that being your job is like, you have to be like the best that you can be at your craft, at your instrument or vocals or whatever. And that's like a lot of pressure. But there's like a billion musicians out there. And so it's like how to like stand out and like how to like really like do it well is like the tricky part, you know. And like I've known people who've like gone on tours, US tours, now like international tours or whatever, and now they're not doing it anymore. And it's like, okay, cool, like totally fine, like no shame, no judgment, but it's like life just happens, you know. And dreams can be dreams for seasons, you know. Like I've definitely have had dreams that I've like wanted to do or wanted to be back then as in like a few years ago or whatever. But like as I've grown and like matured and like really like learned more about who I am, it's like I'm like, oh cool, like that'd be a sweet dream, but at the same time it's like, oh, maybe I could do something else.
Yeah, you know? That's true. Like you just like feel it out.
Yeah.
You know, like you might not be passionate about a certain thing forever.
Yeah.
So the best thing you can do is realize that. And also realize that it's maybe not like I think also something that's not good to do is maybe want to just jump too soon.
Totally.
And you haven't like felt it fully out. I think it's good to like feel it out for a little bit. And then once you've definitely made a decision, like just go for it.
Dude, 100%. Like prep is so important. Yeah. You know, like I remember when, gosh, how old was I? I think I was 18. I really wanted to open up a coffee shop and like / music venue because the town I was living in had no music venues like close by at all. And like I had a big heart for like kids who had nothing to do like teenagers who were like getting into drugs instead of like hanging out with people or whatever. And so I was like, oh, like I'll open up like this safe haven sort of a thing and like do coffee and music and art and stuff like that. And I was like, cool, I found a building. It's like $250,000, whatever, you know? And then like reality hit. I was like, there's no way I could do this. You know, it was like, I could maybe, but like not right now, you know? So, but yeah, totally like not jumping too soon into things and not like letting, like not like getting rid of like obligations to do something full time without being ready to do that thing full time, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah. And then sometimes it just happens naturally, honestly. Like that's what happened with me in photography. It was like a hobby, and then like people were like, "Oh, cool! Like, you take my senior photos or whatever, you know?" And like, "Oh, do you shoot weddings?" And I was like, "Oh, sure." And I was like, "Oh, I'm doing this full time now. Never thought I would, but here I am, you know." But now I'm not, like currently, and so it's like just different things and different dreams and different seasons, you know.
It's really cool when you build that skill set, like you mentioned, photography, where people start asking you if you're like cool to do a wedding, if you're cool to do other projects, because you're like, oh, I have a skill that other people see value in, and you know, maybe you've worked on it for a little bit, and you start to see like the fruits of your labor
Totally, dude.
come.
So real. Yeah. I mean, even like just another example, like with my pottery, it's called Happy Monday. You know that, yeah. It was just like a hobby, you know. It was just like, oh, this is fun to do, but like I practiced a lot because it takes a lot of practice to do it, and to do like at the level that I want to do it, you know, like the shapes and like the technique and stuff like that. And like after like doing it for a little bit, it was like, oh sweet, like I feel good doing this. I'm not like advertising it. I'm not like, hey, this is a thing now. But then people were like, oh, I love that mug. Can I buy it? And I'm just like, oh, sure. You know, and now it's like something I'm trying to pursue right now, you know, like, and hopefully we'll be able to do full time, you know? And so it's just kind of like practice is important. And being diligent in that is really important too.
So you'd want to do the pottery full time?
Yeah.
That's kind of your goal?
Yeah. Yeah. A mix of, there's a lot of things that I want to do full time.
I want to do it all.
I want to do it all full time. It's like, man, if I had like 3 other like lives to live right now, that'd be sick.
Yeah.
But yeah, like pottery and coffee is what I want to do full time. And I've never been a barista, but I want to open up something that's like pottery and coffee and just like community based, you know? Yeah.
That'd be cool. You could almost, I think one thing that I'd love to see more businesses just in this area do is more like classes.
Dude,
or
totally.
like community things where you get together. So like if you're like a brewery or if you're a coffee shop, like if you want to mix coffee with pottery, being able to have like classes and just almost getting together for different learnings and stuff like that would be really cool.
Dude, yeah. It's funny. I looked at my phone because I texted my buddy, and I was like debating on mentioning this or not because it's like still in the works. I think it's fine. That's exciting to me. So I actually,
you could mention a little bit if you want.
Yeah. I don't want to like cats out of the bag sort of thing until it's like, I mean, it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Oh man. So okay. To not mention the whole thing, but I am going to open up a coffee shop and a pottery studio, and we're going to do classes.
Hey, let's go.
And like community events and like walk-in movie nights and like snowman building contests in the winter, you know, and like it's gonna be very much so like how do we become love to people around us, you know, like very intentional on hospitality and very intentional on like just loving people where they're at. That's all I'll say. But we're very, very excited. My buddy and I are doing it together.
That'll be cool, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, we're super stoked.
Yeah. Where are you thinking of having it?
For sure in the city somewhere. For sure. Like, I mean, Northeast would be sweet, but it's pretty saturated with coffee already, which isn't like a bad thing per se. I feel like there hasn't been like a new cafe. I mean, there's like a couple new ones popping up. As of recently, but like the past, like I say, like 3 years, there hasn't been, because obviously COVID was a thing. So opening up a small business during COVID is very hard to do. But yeah, so maybe Northeast, maybe South Minneapolis, maybe like St. Louis Park, like a little bit towards this area a little bit.
Yeah, that'd be closer the better.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying.
I'll be there.
Yeah, bro. But like it really depends on the building, because like we want it to feel real. Like we want it to feel like authentic to who we are. Like as my business partner and I. So it's like we're looking for like old gas stations, you know, we're looking for like old auto mechanic places, you know, we're looking for like really unique looking buildings that like hold nostalgia, you know. Like we don't want to, we really want like our own standalone building, but that's like kind of tough in the cities at least. But yeah, we're very excited. It's gonna be sweet, man. Yeah,
That'd be cool.
yeah.
How's it been so far? Like, what point are you kind of at right now?
We're still in the business planning like portion. It's a lot more than I expected. Building a business plan. Maybe we're doing it like the very technical way, but like we've been working on it for a bit now, and like trying to figure out budgets and figuring out like how much money we need to like fundraise for this, because we're gonna crowdfund the whole thing. We just really felt like led to do that. And yeah, and just kind of like figuring out like target market, which like I know like who we're like trying to like our target market is or whatever, but like saying that and writing it down and like explaining that is like a lot harder than just like knowing it. You know what I mean?
You can like see them almost, but then when you have to like describe them and build them as a character, it's hard.
Yeah, dude, and just be like, oh, like everybody, right? You know, or it's like, oh, you know, people like me, but what does that mean? You know, or not like me, what does that mean? You know, so we're trying to, we're in the process of like figuring out like the logistics of it. You know, it's like because it's gonna be like pottery studio, but also like full blown cafe, and so it's like. He's working on the coffee budget. I'm working on my studio budget and like the events budget, because like we're gonna be like live music and pop ups, and like we're gonna have a coffee truck too. It's gonna be so
sweet.
sick, dude. It's gonna be
Coffee truck.
Yeah, bro.
Wow.
Yeah, we're gonna like pop around. Anyways, I gotta stop talking about. No,
No, dude, I want
it's
you to
good.
talk.
It's good. I just wish he was here to like share more about it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so. We're still trying to figure it all out, but we're very excited for it, and yeah, super stoked.
Sweet.
Yeah, man.
Dang.
Yeah.
When are you kind of guessing it will be started maybe, or is that too far out yet?
I mean, the hope would be spring next year, but who knows? Yeah, who knows? People who I've talked to who have started businesses always say, expect the unexpected and don't like hold too tightly on like what you're hoping for, which is kind of like sad to hear, but at the same time it's very real, because there's like so many variables, so many moving parts where it's like, oh, like the building's ready, but like the plumbing's not, you know, and that's going to take however long, especially with like the supply chain issues right now. You know, it's like, oh, like we can't get a plumber for like the next 3 months, you know, but we're supposed to open in next week, you know, that sort of thing. So it's like different logistics and different variables. So, but like we're not like worried about it. Like we're not like we have to open spring, you know. It's like if we don't, we're failing. It's just like no, like we're gonna open when it's ready, and we're excited, like very, very excited. And so we're putting everything that we have into it, like emotionally, physically, you know, creatively. And it's gonna be like a homie hub, dude. Like it's just I'm so stoked.
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be fun. Fun spot.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, I won't tell you the name. I won't tell you the name yet.
Oh, you already have the name of it?
Oh yeah. The name was the first thing to come, honestly.
Oh.
Yeah, so
How did you guys were you guys just like meeting up one day and you just started chatting about it, or how did that idea come?
So kind of a long story. Trying to think where to start the story. So like a lot of it, so like the past 3 years for me has been a lot of like healing and like just like sitting and not doing a lot, but like processing and healing a lot. And I've been coming out of that season, which has been really good. And I was just like, I was with some friends from church, And one of my buddies, he was like, "Hey man, like I really feel like God wants you to take your dreams that you've had and like times them by 10, but like invite him into that multiplication." And I was like, "Oh wow, that's cool. That's sweet, that's awesome, totally," you know. And so like one of my dreams was like with Happy Monday with my pottery. That was like kind of like highlighted to me, and I was like, okay, sweet. I was just like praying, talking to the Lord about it, and I was like, cool, like let's times it by 10, you know, whatever. Like, what does that even look like? What does that even mean, you know? And I was like, well, it'd be sweet to like sell stuff in stores. And I felt him say like, okay, but more. And I was like, okay, like it'd be sweet to like have my own studio. And he's like, yeah, but like more. You know, he kept like prompting me to like dream bigger, because it's like there's a phrase that's like, I think it's real, but I've heard it a billion times now. But it's like, if your dreams don't scare you, they're not big enough, you know? And I was like, okay, I'm getting to the scary point, you know, like I was like dreaming big. I was like, this is actually kind of terrifying, you know? And I got to the point where I was like, okay, I would actually love to open up a cafe where I could love people and like have a safe place for people and do pottery full time and like sell it full time and just like have a place to be, you know? And then like that was like doing that is like a big step, and it's like kind of terrifying, you know? And that it was, I felt it in my heart. I was like that was the check mark, you know, like that's the dream now, you know? And so I was just like mulling that over in my mind. I was like, okay, like how do I do that? You know, how do I invite people into that or whatever? And then my partner or business partner and I, Justin, his name's Justin Bloom, we work together at the same place right now. And so we see each other like every single day, which is great. He's like one of my best friends. And I just like casually like mentioned it to him. I was like, hey bro, you wanna do this with me? Just like literally in passing. It was not even like, let's sit down and talk about, I have something to propose to you.
Yeah. Just like a joke almost.
Literally, it was just like, hey bro, you wanna, you know, whatever. And he looked at me, he's like, wait, are you serious? And I was like, I mean, yeah, it'd be fun, right? You know, and in my head, I'm like, I'm doing this. But I was like, but I need help. And like, who's the right people to talk to about it, whatever, or the right people to invite into. And then he looked at me, he's like, dude, that's been one of my dreams for like the longest time. And I was like, sweet, let's do it. I'm like, yeah, no question. Like, no fear, no worry. Let's just do it. And so that was it. And he's been in coffee for, I think, 7 years, like third wave. Like, he knows how to like rebuild espresso machines. He knows how to like train people. He's like come up with his own drinks and syrups, and like he knows how to make oat milk. You know, it's like all these different skill sets that he has that were like, and like I'm on the whole like marketing side, retail side, pottery side, like the event side of things, and he's like heading up the coffee side of things. But I mean, like I've been a coffee snob for years. A nice coffee snob. I don't make anyone feel bad about not knowing certain things about coffee. That's stupid. But so I'm like, I like know good coffee. And so it's really fun to like banter back and forth where it's like, okay, who should we have? Like what beans should we have? Or like what espresso machine should we have? Or like what's like syrups, or what should we offer, you know? And so it's been really fun to do that. But yeah, so it's kind of just like, it's like, we're meant for each other, man. Like business wise.
That was really cool. You just like mentioned the idea to him, and he's like almost a perfect fit.
Literally,
for something you also want to create.
Yeah.
So just you invited him in, and he has all this experience with coffee. You have experience with like the creative side, the pottery, just like the marketing. It's perfect,
dude. It literally is. And like we'll tell friends about it, and they're like, "Oh yeah, like that just makes sense." Like, yeah, duh, you're doing that. Like, of course you are. And so I'm just like, oh, cool. I'll take that positive encouragement and run with it. You know? So, yeah, we're excited. We're super stoked.
Sick.
Yeah.
What makes a good coffee?
Oh, man. So many things. The mug you're using? No. Actually, happy Monday plug. No. Yeah, I mean, like, it really... There's a lot of things that like make a good cup of coffee, and there's a lot of like opinions for sure. And it's all about like what you like. You know, some people like the taste of Folgers, you know, which is I don't
They
know.
haven't had much other coffee other than
Yeah, I know.
Folgers,
Honestly,
you
it's
know?
like, let me open your eyes.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, like from where it's like farmed, where it's sourced, to like how it's like roasted, the different techniques of roasting, and like what, like all that stuff, and then like how it's ground, you know, and then it's how is it brewed? Like there's espresso, there's like pour overs, there's like drip, there's Chemex, like there's so many different ways to make coffee, and so it is very like, it's just based on like what you like, and like sure there's like logistics and like there's like factorial things that make good coffees or not, but I don't know. I personally love coffee way too much, but at the same time, if you like Folgers, you like Folgers. That's cool, man. Like, I'm not gonna hate you for it. I'll like be concerned and like know what to pray for you about now. But like, you know,
Maybe they have just had too much burnt coffee.
I mean,
they cannot taste it anymore.
it's just like, I know a fact about Folgers. Not, I mean, I think it is Folgers, but somebody told me this once about like the pre-ground grocery store coffee. The reason, so like back in the day, you see these like cleaning like infomercials where it's like, oh, they spilled wine on the couch, or like spilled coffee on the couch, and like it's stained, so they have like these cleaners or whatever. Well, the reason why that like those at home coffees stain is because when, man, don't come at me, Folgers, please. This isn't for Folgers. This is whatever. The reason why that like there's like it stains is because when they harvest the beans, they don't wait till everything's ripe. They just do it all at once. And so in order to make all the beans look the same, they actually dye them. And so when you're drinking like Folgers or like, I don't even know other ones, Toll House, no, that's cookies. There's like other at home pre-ground coffees or whatever. When you're drinking that, you're actually drinking dye too,
Oh, no.
which is why it stains, you know. And like coffee, all coffee stains to a degree because it's, you know, dark liquid. But like third wave high quality coffee is a lot easier to get out than Folgers.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Not a lot of people do. And
Yeah.
and like someone told me that, and I took it as truth. So I'm hoping it's still true, but so that I'm not like spreading misinformation. But
I mean, it kind of makes sense because they also do that with salmon too.
Totally.
Like some of the salmon that's just not like a healthy salmon.
Yeah.
They'll just dye it with color.
dude. So true. It's gross.
Yeah, it's really gross.
It's very gross. Yeah. So yeah.
What's your favorite way to make coffee?
Man, when I'm at home, I have a Chemex, so it's like that hourglass shape thing. But so I just took the pour over method. So it's like you just like either make like 2 or 3 cups at a time via Chemex, or there's like a V60, which is like, it's like a circle with a cone basically. But yeah, that's like my favorite way because I love the process of it. Like I love like having the fresh beans and then grinding it and like the smell that comes from that. I'm very like sensory based, so it's like I love like smells and sights and touch or whatever. And then it's like having your kettle and then like doing the first pour around and like letting it bloom and see the bubbles come out or whatever, and then like you kind of go through the rest of the process. And like the first sip of it, you're like, oh, this is really good, or I did a really bad job. You know, it doesn't taste good, but yeah, that's like my favorite way. It's like the process and also the way it looks. It's just fun, you know. Like with my Happy Monday, like the ceramics and stuff I've been doing, I've been playing around with different like style ideas of making V60s, which is like that little like cone thing you put on top of the cup. And I made 2 of them, and I use it at home, and
Nice.
I'm like, cool, like I want to make more of these and maybe
Yeah,
sell
I
them.
like them because I have one too, and it's like a smaller, you know, way instead of like when you have all the bigger.
Yeah, like a whole pot of
materials.
coffee or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And then there's AeroPress too, which is like that tube thing.
Those are nice.
I love them.
Yeah.
They're so great for camping too. Like every time I go camping or on a little trip or whatever, I bring my AeroPress because it's just like hot water. Just push it, you're good to go, man.
Yeah.
Coffee in like 2 minutes.
What's been the best coffee you've had in Minneapolis?
Man, I feel like right now, I don't know. But like, I remember one of the best cups of coffee I've ever had was at Spy House. And it was like probably 6 years ago, 6 or 7 years ago. And they had this, this geisha bean. It was like a super special, very expensive. It's like limited quantity or whatever. and like a pour over of this geisha was like $6 for just a cup of coffee, black, straight. You know, you do not put creamer or sugar in that. Like, no way. And I remember like taking the first sip, and it felt like I was like frolicking through like a strawberry field, like with like lavender and rose. It's just like, it was just like this experience. And I've never had anything better since, to be honest. But like, that was like the pinnacle of like my coffee snob story.
And it was $6 coffee too,
Yeah,
so it wasn't
I mean,
that crazy.
No, yeah, but like I think it was like $60 for like a quarter of beans or a quarter pound of beans or whatever. So it was like really expensive. It was like a Wagyu steak, you know. But yeah, I mean, like nowadays it's like I buy different beans from different like cities now and make it at home. Like Kansas City has a really great coffee culture. There's Onyx Coffee that's in Arkansas. It's really, really good. Whenever I go to California, like once a year just to like take some time. I used to live there, so it feels like home. Really incredible coffee culture. And so like I always like bring home like 3 or 4 bags of coffee from different cafes and stuff. Still support local, of course, but yeah, trying to venture out a little bit to find other stuff. So
yeah. Would you ever start your own coffee farm?
Probably not. That's like a huge endeavor. And yeah, like as passionate and I am about like coffee and like paying farmers a good wage for their beans and for their work and stuff, I don't think I could ever start one personally.
Because you need like a mountain kind of climate.
Oh, for
to grow
sure.
Coffee.
Yeah. It's like, I think it's like along the equator and like, sorry. And like it has to be like a very specific area of the earth. And that's just sounds really expensive, honestly. Yeah. So I don't know. But we'll definitely like support and partner for sure. You know, but
do you think you'll travel down to your coffee suppliers?
I would love to
start the cafe, or do you think you'll just buy them?
I would love to meet them 100%. And like we'll probably start like offering different like local roasters that we really admire. But we would love to roast our own at some point down the road. And so like, that's a whole process in itself, you know, like finding a roaster and like finding a space for that. And then like sourcing the beans and like paying them a good wage and like all that stuff. But yeah, once we get to that point, I would love to go to like wherever we're getting it from, you know, Guatemala or whatever, and just like hang out with the people who are making our lives so much better.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. So one day.
Pretty cool.
One day.
Huh.
Yeah, bro.
How do you even source it? Is it, I mean, will you just ask people you think?
Yeah.
That are kind of in the coffee industry, like, you know, different sources or?
I'm sure there's like definitely like a networking aspect of it where it's like, hey, where do you get your beans? Or like, where do they get their beans? But I'm sure there's like some sort of website or like hub where it's like, here's a bunch of places that grow coffee. Yeah. You know, at least I hope.
If there's not another business idea,
wow. All right. Here we go. Gotta patent that.
This one's website though.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. But yeah, man. So we'll see. I'm excited though, regardless. Like this new journey has been really, really exciting for me and I'm stoked. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What do your days kind of look like right now? I mean, it seems like you're doing like a few things, which is awesome.
Yeah. Busy. Yeah, really busy. I work full time for a furniture company. So I'm there like 5:45 a.m. till probably like 3:30 every day. Well, Tuesday through Saturday. And then when I'm not there, I have like church obligations throughout the week, you know, like leading worship or doing different things, different meetings or whatever. And then when I'm not doing that, I try to socialize as well, just to try to see my friends and stuff. And then when I'm not doing that, I'm in my pottery studio, just like I'm still in like the brainstorming, like trying to figure out like what shapes I want to do, like what pieces I exactly want to like start offering, you know. And then when I'm not at the studio, I'm at home sleeping, you know. So.
You also, I mean, did you mention you're shooting photos too? But maybe you don't do that as much anymore.
Yeah, I haven't, like, I'm not like retired from shooting, but I definitely stepped a step back from doing it. Just because it's like, I mean, like I said before, if I had like four other lives to live, I would be doing all these things at once, you know. But it's just like it's. I mean, it's a hard thing being a creative and having a lot of things that you love to do. But like we only get 24 hours in a day, you know, and so it's like you have to like kind of like pick which one's going to be your, you know, like your priority, and then like run with that. And like saying yes to things is also saying no to things, you know. And so it's like, oh, cool, like I really want to pursue like, you know, pottery and like prioritize like my church obligations and stuff, which means I probably can't shoot as many weddings because I'm busy on the weekends, or like that means I probably can't take on more photo clients, or I can't like pursue that because I'm pursuing other things, you know. So
Yeah, that's true. Where do you get your ideas for the pottery side?
Yeah, I'm really inspired by like mid-century modern things. So like 60s, 50s, 60s, and 70s era, where it's like really clean lines, like really clean. I should have brought some stuff. Shoot, just like
Check out the Instagram.
yeah, but also like Japanese style pottery for sure, where it's like really simple, really clean, but also like interesting.
Yeah,
and
I like
intricate.
that style of yours. It's, everything's like very clean and simple.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, I like that.
It's fun. I love it. And it's like I make things that I would use, you know? Like that's when like coming back to the whole like if you're doing something creative, also do it for yourself. You know, cuz it's like I make things for myself constantly. Like mugs or like pour overs, or like I just made a couple of plates that I'm like testing out, but I'm definitely going to use them at home, you know? And so so yeah, it's like I think it's really important to create things that you love, that you would enjoy yourself, you know?
Sure. Just like keeps you motivated to keep doing
100%,
it.
100%, yeah. And then following a billion people on Instagram that do the same thing as you do to get all the inspiration you can get, you know.
Yeah. Is it mainly from Instagram, like the inspiration for what you're gonna create?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, there's a couple accounts that I'm like obsessed with for pottery, but also just like thrifting is a huge one. Honestly, I go thrifting often, and it's like I'll find a mug that I'm like, I love that shape. I don't love the handle, but I love the shape of it, so I'm gonna like kind of copy it.
Yeah.
And put my own handle on it, or like do my own twist on it.
That'd be cool.
Like,
That's
dude,
cool. I mean, you're just able to create. You're able to like see things and create them how you think they could be better.
Definitely. Not even better, just like what I would like more.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah, so it's just like I'm out and about, or I'm like Target. Target's a big inspo for sure, because like they have like their home section. I forget what it's called, like Hearth and Home or whatever, or something. Wreath, or I don't know. But they have like a bunch of bowls that look handmade, and cups that look handmade, and I'm like, oh sweet. If Target's doing it and it's successful, and I love the way it looks, I'll give it a go. Obviously, I'm not going to copy them perfectly, because that's like, I mean, honestly, kind of impossible.
Here, Target knocking at your door.
Yeah. It's a lawsuit.
Josiah, we gotta speak.
I don't know what you're talking about, you know. But yeah, it's just like there's inspiration everywhere, you know. Honestly, and like even when it comes to like things that aren't pottery, you know, like I've been doing like these like blue pinstripes on the top of the mugs, or things that I've been making, and like that was inspired from like vintage motorcycles, you know, where it's like the gas tank is painted with like these racing stripes, you know, and I'm like, oh, that'd be cool. I love that style. I want to implement it in my pottery, just to like see how it works, see how it feels, you know. And so there's inspiration everywhere, man. Just gotta look for it, you know.
Yeah, it's really true.
Or go thrifting.
You'll find it there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
man. So
that's cool. Do you have any pop-ups coming up?
Not for pottery. I am playing like a small acoustic show on Friday at Rustica Coffee. Just close by St. Louis Park.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. But yeah, not for pottery. I'm kind of like with the whole like big endeavor that we're working towards, like the cafe and stuff. I'm like kind of taking it chill on like different events, just so I can focus and like hone in and kind of like start making things for the cafe, you know, because we're like everything that we serve in house is gonna be, I'm gonna make that, you know, all the mugs, all the dishes and stuff. And so I'm like, oh, I gotta like start doing that, because that's gonna be a lot of work. But yeah, no pop-ups recently. But I mean, if someone asks me, I'll probably do it, you know. But I'm not like pursuing it right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Sweet.
Yeah, man. It's fun. It's good stuff. It's a
Yeah.
good time.
I suppose we can wrap things up if you're cool with playing a song.
Oh, I'll play a song.
Sweet.
100%. Let me go.
All right. Oh, perfect. The camera just shut off.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah, well, that's why I go back and I just click recording again.
Oh, funny.
Because it has like a time limit on the Canon cameras.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what song to do, though. I don't know.
Whatever song you're feeling.
Oh, man.
This is the first time someone has sang a song on the podcast.
Yeah,
This is
dude,
cool.
I love it. Let's do it. Should I angle this any way different? You think?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, cool. Kind of catch everything. Yeah. Maybe like.
Yeah, feel free to.
Oh, nice! It just moves. That's
Yeah.
dope. Keep this in the. Oh, buddy. This song. I think I'm gonna do. Yeah, this is a new song I wrote. It's called, Forevermore. Wow. It's new, but I forgot. Yeah, it's called Forevermore. And I actually sang the song at my friend's wedding last year. And so it's like kind of a newer song. But yeah, so it's kind of, it's a song about like looking forward to love somebody again, you know? So yeah, it's called Forevermore. I prayed every night that I can be the man that God wants me to have. I know I'm far from perfect, I've got a long way to go, but no, I always love you so. I'll be your fire, I'll be your shelter, I'll be your heart when you feel alone. Just call my name and I'll come running. Take my hand, I'll hold you close. No, I can't wait to love you, my dear. I can't wait to love you, my dear. Oh, I waited a long time just to see you in this moment. Dare I say I waited my whole life for you. Oh, to see you walking down, the angels all gathered around, as I promised my forever to you. 'Cause I'll be your fire, I'll be your shelter, I'll be your heart when you feel alone. Just call my name and I'll come running. Take my hand, I'll hold you close. No, I can't wait to love you, my dear. No, I can't wait to love you. Just 'cause I know it's been a long time since someone's loved you right, but I promise that I'll love you through the fight. Oh, believe me when I say this, you're worth more than you know. My heart is for you forevermore. So I'll be your fire, I'll be your shelter, I'll be your heart when you feel alone. Just call my name and I'll come running. Take my hand, I'll hold you close. No, I can't wait to love you, my dear. No, I can't wait to love you, my dear.
Hey.
Thanks,
Beautiful,
bro.
man.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Yeah. That's one
That's
song
awesome.
that I should be recording hopefully sooner than later. So
Sweet.
but like full band. It's gonna be more energy, more fun.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Dang, that's awesome. Thank you
man.
for doing that.
Dude, absolutely.
Sweet. And then I was like, oh, dang, should have had you played at the very end. But
Oh, for sure.
to finish it off,
No worries.
if you were to leave your last piece of advice to your younger self, what would that be?
Oh man, that's a great question. Last piece of advice to my younger self. Oh man, I think I would tell him that we are all made so uniquely and so differently and so special, and to really lean into that and to really pursue identity, and really to pursue truly who they are, who he is, talking to my younger self, and to not get wrapped up or stuck in the negative mentality of comparison, and not to get stuck in trying to be what other people want you to be, and just like really learning to love yourself, because it's super important. I really wish, from my own story, I really wish I heard that when I was younger. So yeah, that's what I would say.
Man.
Yeah, bro.
Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me, man.
Let's
so
go.
fun.
Let's go. Sweet, dude.
Yeah, dude.
That was awesome.
Bro, that was fun.
Thank you for tuning into the podcast with Josiah. If you enjoyed it, please send us a DM on Instagram at BehindTheVisionPod or ever_north, or leave us a review, as we love to receive your feedback on the show. If you want to stay up to date on new podcasts and collection drops from EverNorth, check out evernorthco.com. Thanks again for listening, and hope you have an amazing day.